Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Pultorak. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited you're here to talk about ITIL Practitioner. This is the most exciting thing that's happened to ITIL in years and years and years, so let's get started. This session today is going to cover the facts for individuals and for corporate learners. We've got two upcoming sessions I want to talk to you about that cover ITIL Practitioner for trainers. The first is a deep dive. The first is an overview for trainers, just to go through the kit, talk about the course, how long is it, what's included, what's the exam like, that sort of stuff, the basic information. And then secondly is this session that covers a drill down on our courseware. Let's rip into the kit, see all the components, pull those apart. So both of these you can sign up at Pultorak.com. You just go there, it's right on the home page. And we've also got a new poster, which you can download there for free. This free downloadable poster. So avail yourselves of that, but let's get started on the facts for individuals and organizations. So what we're going to cover is what ITIL Practitioner is, how it fits within the qualification scheme, that pyramid you see up in your upper right-hand corner, the timeline for the course, it's February, what the costs are for the course, for the book, for the exam, the course itself, what's it consists of, and the examination, what's that like. We're going to post a recording of the session for all attendees. It's going to be up on our YouTube site as well as on Pultorak.com. If you've got technical questions while we proceed, please use the chat box, and you can also I am Chris. So let's get started. What's ITIL Practitioner? Well, it's the latest evolution in the ITIL framework. So it's available February 2016. This is a publication, and it's also a course. It's a official ITIL publication and course. It's important to understand that. It's an evolution because it's complementary. It's additional content. Complementary means additional content that further elaborates but doesn't duplicate the content in ITIL core publication. So if you remember, the spirit of ITIL is, and it's always been the architecture, that there's the core publications and then complementary publications will be published. They cover things like how to apply it in a specific context, like small organizations or a specific vertical. Well, this ITIL Practitioner is complementary in that it provides additional guidance on the how-to. So where ITIL Foundation covers the what to do and why to do it, ITIL Practitioner talks about how do I go about and do that, and gives detailed guidance on that as well as a toolkit. So you can take this course if you've got a valid current ITIL Foundation exam. So if you've got ITIL Foundation covered, current ITIL certificate and foundation, you can take the practitioner. That's the only prerequisite. In the course and the book, you get some practical tools. There's a toolkit involved, included. And it's really cool because if you think about it, you've got all these people that have gotten ITIL Foundation and they've learned the concepts. Well, how do I go about applying them? Well, this course gives them some additional knowledge as well as this toolkit to help them quickly adopt and adapt. It's really the getting started course that ITIL has always needed, right? Foundation gives you the basics. How do I get started is the first question, and this helps you get there. So it enables that collaboration and continual service improvement and helps you move from knowing what to do to putting it into practice better. So it's really a shot in the arm for all those people who have taken the foundation course and increasing their capability to apply those, invigorating them with new techniques and templates, etc., to get going on further improvements. So ITIL Practitioner, it's brand new. It's complemented the ITIL qualification scheme. It's a follow-on for foundation, and that's important because if you think about it, people do go and take the expert path, but 95+% of the market for ITIL is in the foundation. There's 2 million+ people certified. So think about that. Think about all that latent capability and that investment that's been made in getting people up to speed on what to do and why with ITIL Foundation. What if you could transform that into action, further action, more effective and efficient action by bringing up their capability to how to apply, adapting ITIL to a specific organization and scenario. And that's what Practitioner does, and that's why it's so exciting, because the market is so big, the potential is so big to get people to really make some improvements in organizations and at the individual level. So it's a 3-credit course. It's any 3 credits. You do not have to take practitioner to move on to other levels. We'll see that in a second, but it's worth 3 credits. You know the system. You get 22 credits to get an expert certification. Any 22 credits will do. Well, practitioner counts as 3 credits. In addition to being a course that gives you credits, it also has a toolkit that provides practical guidance. So it's the how-to guidance plus a toolkit that makes you move from a knower at the foundational level to a practitioner who can apply things. So foundation, again, as we see down here in the bottom, is the what and the why. Practitioner gives you the how. And the guidance really, the cool thing about it is there's 3 parts to it. There's 9 guiding principles that are distilled from IT service management, right? That are covered. Then there's the focus on the 6 steps of the CSI approach. And then there's, because you think about it, practitioner is about making improvements, and that's really continual service improvement, right? But again, it's complementary guidance. It doesn't duplicate what's in CSI. CSI says, hey, basically, here's how you make improvements to services and processes, but doesn't, and it glances at how, but doesn't give you specifically how. It certainly doesn't give you a toolkit for how, and that's precisely what practitioner does. So there's 9 guiding principles, the 6 steps of the CSI approach, and then there's 3 critical competencies, and this is what they are. If you think about making any kind of initiative improvement, the 3 critical competencies are: how do you manage organizational change? In other words, people's minds and their actions, changing that. How do we manage that? Stakeholders, etc. Measurement and metrics to be able to demonstrate the value, see how bad is this current situation, where do we want to be, and then do we get there? So that's critical to showing value. And then communication, making sure that communication and collaboration is in place. So those are the 3 critical competencies. Let's go over these. We've got this poster for this. You can download it at Pultorak, movie size. We've got all sorts of formats, and it's great for communicating in an iPool. By the way, all the old current ITIL posters are out there as well, and they're free to download. So anyway, let's go through this. These are the ITIL Practitioner Key Principles Model. This is the core content that's covered in Practitioner. So there's 9 guiding principles, and they're for both individuals and organizations. Principles that distill the core messages of ITIL and IT service management. Principles that are vital to success when you're adapting ITIL to a specific situation and organization. These principles are focus on value. See this? Everything the service provider needs to map back to the value for the customer and the business, and it's the customer who determines what's of value. Design for experience, that's retaining focus on the customer experience, those moments of truth. Whenever you're doing anything, whenever you're making improvements, to really make sure that you're maintaining that in sight. What's the customer experience, and how are we improving that? So designing improvements there. Starting where you are, rather than reinventing the wheel, starting from scratch. And how can we leverage existing capabilities, competencies, practice to get from where we are to where we need to go? Working holistically, all the aspects when you're making improvement need to work in concert, harmoniously together to deliver results. So there's that, and the focus on the bigger picture rather than on single elements or low-level improvements. Progressing iteratively, this is from Agile Scrum, right? And you'll see that as we go through the practices here. What's exciting about how you put ITIL into practice, this content is current. It talks about Agile Scrum, Lean IT, DevOps. So anything that will help you make improvements in the how is current. Think about it. ITIL is about best practice, common practice, good practice. So when we get to the how, it's got to be current. It's got to be driving on that. So it's exciting to see those sorts of concepts get pulled in here. But progressing iteratively, the idea here is to work in chunks, work in manageable sections, do sprints with clear deliverables and show incremental improvement. Observe directly. This is the Gemba thing, right? This is our from Lean IT. We go to where the work's done. We observe firsthand and objectively. So we efficiently use resources. We're working from facts, right? Be transparent. Let's make sure we find ways to be clear about what we're doing with our ongoing initiatives to gain and keep buy-in from all the stakeholders. Collaborate. Again, it's all about buy-in. Again, let's work together and match skills to tasks to ensure buy-ins, relevance, and success. And then keeping it simple. Getting rid of processes and services that don't provide value, focusing efforts on those that do provide benefits. So that's the 9 guiding principles. Next, we have the 6 steps of the CSI approach. I won't elaborate on these 6 steps. You should know them from foundation. But the key thing here is, in this ITIL Practitioner, complementary guidance and a toolkit is provided every step of the 6 steps, every step of the way, on the how of adopting and adapting ITIL. So that's cool. Lastly, we have on the right-hand side the 3 critical competencies. The first is driving organizational change management. That includes managing stakeholders, sponsors, managing resistance to change, applying organizational change management to planning and implementing improvements. Monitoring and sharing success metrics covers such topics as critical success factors, key performance indicators, and how to analyze them both in a given context and apply them both in for a specific scenario and organization. Improving communication covers communication principles, the purpose and value of communication, and relevant communication tools and techniques. These 3 competencies are critical. If you think about it, look at these. This is where initiatives of any type, let alone service management improvement initiatives, fail on these 3 legs, right? People don't know how to change people's minds through organizational and their actions and behaviors through organizational change. People don't know how to measure how bad things are, set goals and attain them, and prove that they've gotten there, provide evidence. That's measurement. And communication's always a bugaboo in organizations. So getting these things right, having these competencies, and further to have a set of toolkit tools to help drive that quickly, efficiently, that's cool, and that's what's included in Practitioner. So this poster is a movie-sized portrait version of this poster. Is available for free download at Pultorak.com. I encourage you to pull it down and use it. So what's the impact of this Practitioner? Think about it. Think about the 2 million people who have ITIL Foundation certification. That's an unharvested, to a large extent. It's great they have foundation. I'm sure they've made some improvements individually and for organizations. But what if we could activate that base of people, get them some tools and additional knowledge on the how-to apply? We can reinvigorate that base. We can just drive a lot of improvements in organizations. So what we can do is get people who have the confidence and capability to act on the knowledge that they've acquired from foundation. That's huge, right? Think about that army of people out there, 2 million plus, 25,000 a month getting certified. Let's make sure that they have a clear understanding of how to structure improvement. That's in the toolkit, that's in the content, so they can have more expertise on adapting ITIL to their specific organization, their specific scenario, their individual situation. And let's give them a development path, right? It's great. There's a small subset of people that want to move on to expert through the intermediates, but there's a large set of people who could use how-to guidance on applying ITIL at the foundational level, and that's what we're going after. So the benefits to organizations are you can galvanize that army of people to identify and deliver further service improvements. Arm them with a comprehensive toolkit, right? And give them a development path, right? They're not going to all be ITIL experts, but they can certainly learn how to benefit from learning how to apply ITIL foundation skills, and certainly the organization benefit there. And for individuals, you get a practical set of skills. You learn new skills and techniques, not just ITIL core skills, but specifically how-to skills, how to apply ITIL, and pulling from things like current things like Lean IT, DevOps, Agile Scrum. So that's all cool, right? So you'll leverage some of those good practices, and you'll reinvigorate your knowledge and find new ways to apply it and get some toolkits to do that. So here's where Practitioner sits in this ITIL scheme. So it's important to note it's 3 credits. You know that to get to ITIL Expert, 22 credits is required. You do not have to traverse Practitioner to get to Expert, right? It's an optional, just like any one of these things are. Any combination here of 3 credits will get you to Expert. And by the way, you don't have to get to Expert, and this is really the important point. ITIL Practitioner is really aimed at the large audience, the 2 million people who are ITIL Foundation certified, right? So let's get them some skills to apply with the eLearning Foundation. That's really the core path. So think about it. You'll have a small set of people who go to experts in your organization, but the real target for this training is the people who learn the what and why in Foundation, who now need to know the how and get toolkits to drive that. That's Practitioner. Okay, timeline and cost. February is when everything comes out. We have a pre-release of this book now. The final book is supposed to be out January, February. We have a pre-release of our course. By the way, if you order any of these things from us now, we'll get them as soon as they come out. The pre-release of the book isn't here, but if you order it now, we'll give it to you as soon as we get it. The course you can have in pre-release format now. You should order it now. And the reason is you should get up to speed on it. And the further reason is once the release to manufacturer version comes out, we'll give you that for free, right? You can also order vouchers now the minute they're out. It's the same as what we've had. You can order the voucher. We won't give you the voucher number until you need it. But let's go through here. So the timing is February. The book is $92. So very important to understand, the exam is open book. So you need the book for the exam. I mean, you could theoretically take the exam without the book, but you'll probably want it. Also, very important to understand, you must have the hard copy of the book. Excellus is not allowing you, there's an ebook version, but Excellus is not allowing you to use that for the exam at this time. So the book's kind of pricey, but if you think about it, it's got a toolkit in it. You know, it's got some value in it. By the way, we've taken each of the hard copy toolkit items in the book and made them into Word and Excel and other sort of manipulable file formats in our course. So that's worth the price of admission, at least there for the course, to buy it, because you get all of the tools that are mentioned in the book in a soft copy manipulable form in our course. All right, the exam is about $250. We don't have finalized pricing from any of the exam providers, but we expect it to be about the same as the foundation course. That's what we're hearing, so expect that. And the overall course, when you look at these things, it's going to be slightly more than foundation because of the book, but our courseware is cheaper. Our foundations is $154 because we charge by the course hour, and this is supposedly slightly less course hours than the foundation. And I'll talk to you what I mean by supposedly in just a sec. So the book, $92 US. You can order it on our site. It's 227 pages. The syllabus is based on the book. It's lockstep with the book. As I said, you'll need the hard copy for the exam, so don't order this ebook if you plan to sit the exam. It's complementary guidance, so it does not replicate the CSI book, the core ITIL book, Continual Service Improvement. What it does is provide additional guidance on how to implement. So, you know, for example, in CSI it'll mention the 6-step approach, and it'll outline those steps, describe them, but okay, how do I do step number 1? What is the vision? Well, where are we now? Well, it glances at or mentions things in the core publication for CSI about what you would do, but the tools aren't actually included. They're actually included in the practitioner publication. So it has a toolkit with templates. You can order it at Pultorak.com. It covers, there's an introduction, goes through the 9 principles, goes through the 6 steps of the CSI approach, then goes through the 3 core competencies, and then provides the toolkit. That's the outline of the book. Here's the course. The objectives of the course: follow the syllabus. First, we need to understand the concepts like adopt and adapt that are important drivers of CSI. Then we learn the 9 guiding principles and how to apply them in a real-world context. Then we go through the CSI approach. And again, it's important to understand, as we go through the CSI approach, it's not just regurgitating what's in the CSI book. It's giving specific new content that further details how do I do this, and includes the toolkit items. One cool thing about the book and also the course is that it's cross-indexed against the 9 guiding principles and the toolkit items. So you always understand in context, why am I doing this? Well, here it goes with one of these 9 guiding principles. How do I do this? Well, here's the toolkit items that link to these and enable this action here. And so that's pretty cool. So then we move into the 3 core competencies here. We've got the capabilities. We've got the continual service improvement measurements and metrics, CSF's KPIs, etc. Modes of communication, what's applicable there, and then organizational change. So let's look at the timings and layouts here. So this is a 3-day course. You can expect it to be the same length as a foundation course, about 2.5 days. Normally with a foundation course, you know, it's 18 or so hours. This is a few less hours theoretically, but expect it to be the same. Here's why. Foundation we typically do, it's 2 days of training, then another half day, and then you take the exam in the afternoon and the third day. Well, even though this is supposedly two less hours, think about it. ITIL Foundation exams 1 hour course, a 1 hour exam. This is an hour and 45-minute exam, right? So there's going to be in the sample exams, and the preparation is going to be lengthier there. And this is an application-oriented course, so you're going to have more time for activities that are about applying this concept. So this whole thing is about, do I understand the basic concepts, and then do I understand the scenario on the ground, right? You'll see in the test it's scenario-based. And then how do I apply these concepts to the specific scenario, right? So it's more time required for that. So expect it to be, even though suppose there's less required minimum contact hours, 16 versus 18 or so, it's actually about the same as a foundation. And notice the distribution of hours here. A lot of times, so we cover some basic concepts here and toolkit, get into toolkit items here, but the vast majority of times on these 3 core competencies, and that makes a lot of sense, those core capabilities, because this is where people fall down, this is where people need the most guidance when they're doing these sorts of initiatives, especially organizational change management. Gets the most attention because guess what? That's where people screw up, that's where people need templates, they need guidance. That's what this course provides, that's what the book provides. Okay, just to give you a feel for what's in the toolkit, all the templates, the samples, as I said, our course is worth the price of admission just for this, because we take these and make them Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, etc. And you can get them in the book and you can type them in and stuff. Let's just give them to you. So these are all the different tools that are in here to help you move forward and apply things as a practitioner. Okay, let's get on to the exam. So the exam is multiple choice, 75 questions. So that's different, right? Foundation is 40 questions, so this is a 75 question exam. It's scenario based. So it's like the intermediate exam, but unlike them. So it is simple multiple choice, just like the foundation exam, meaning there's one correct answer, not 2 or 3 correct answers. For your knowledge, and you probably know this if you've taken an intermediate, you certainly know this, the intermediate exams have complex multiple choice. That's where you have 3 correct answers. 1 is the most correct, you get 5 points for it. The next one is sort of correct, and then you get 3 points for it. And the one is like partially correct, and you get 1 point for it. And then there's one that's not correct at all, that's a distractor, that's 0 points. So that's complex multiple choice. That's not what's happening here. So it's a scenario-based, simple multiple choice exam, meaning there's 1 correct answer out of 4, but the answers are against the scenario. So the way it looks like is this. You'll have a scenario, and it's different from the intermediate scenarios in that they're shorter vignettes. So the intermediates have these long scenarios, and there's 1 scenario in the sample exam typically. In this exam, we've got all over it. It's got a couple of different very short vignettes, half-page scenarios, and then the other thing that's interesting is for certain subsets of questions, they'll introduce additional content against that vignette or scenario. But it's simple multiple choice. And the layout is always this way. So for example, you'll be in there and you'll have a vignette. It's talking about where they are in terms of making some improvements. And then you'll have an example will be, okay, you've decided on some improvements. What's the appropriate choice of communication vehicles? And so you'll have to take your knowledge of ITIL Practitioner concepts and toolkit items, etc., and think about the scenario and then choose the right communication vehicle. Is it email? Is it a report? Is it a workshop? What's the appropriate one? So it's applying the scenario, your knowledge to the scenario. That's the makeup of the exam. So anyway, you got an hour and 45 minutes to complete it. ITIL Practitioner training is strongly recommended, but not required for this course. Same as foundation, right? It's not required, but the truth of the matter is, especially an application-oriented course, you want to get some training. You want to exercise some activities. You want to think in a group setting. Even with the self-study option with a course, you want. Think about it. At least you want the soft copy of all the toolkit items. Okay, so the exam is about $250. We'll get final pricing soon. It's an open book test, and importantly, as I said, you have to have the hard copy book. to sit the exam with. You cannot use the PDF or ebook of the book. A little bit harder, this is another thing that's different from Foundation. A little bit harder, besides being more questions, 70%, not 65% like the Foundation is required to pass. So 53 out of 75 to pass. Okay, so what we said we'd cover was the ITIL Practitioner, what it is, how it fits within the qualification scheme, the timeline, the costs. We talked about covering the book, which we did. You know, $92 available on our site. Everything goes live February. The course, Toolkit in there, the examination. So we covered all those things. Just a couple other things. I just want to make sure we got it here. Here's some common questions we get. It is 3 credits towards expert, but you know, it's just 3 credits. What's the exam format we covered? What else here? What else here? Yeah, no overlap. One question, if you look at the bottom here, we often get is this have anything to do with the old ITIL Practitioner from way back when, ITIL V2 Practitioner? And the answer is no. They reuse the name, but there's absolutely no connection with the old V2 Practitioner stuff. This is the getting started course and content and book that is the bookend, the other foot dropping to Foundation. That's the real intent here. So I'm excited because when I think about all the people out there, the 2 million plus people that are ITIL Foundation certified, and getting them galvanized, reinvigorated towards taking action, that's just a super opportunity for those individuals, super opportunity for the industry to see a surge in continual improvement because we've got a large capability growing. So love the fact that we've got a new development path for all those individuals. So what are your next steps? Hey, go out to Excelo's site and check out what they have. They've got a video on this stuff. We've got that posted on our homepage as well. Get certified, right? You get the free poster at Pultorak.com and also get the book and the course exam at Pultorak.com. If you order the pre-release versions now, you get the release to manufacture versions when they come out for free. So you might as well do it. Get going on that. You can contact us at info@Pultorak or 206-729-1107. The other thing is, if you're an instructor, go to our website and check it out because we've got 2 upcoming seminars specifically for instructors to go over from an instructor perspective. What is this course? And also, you know, let's drill down into the kit, the instructor kit, and see what's included in there. So that's it. You know, we have some questions in the chat window. Mostly it's about, do I need foundation? What level of foundation do I need? You need a current foundation certificate to take this course. We've got some other questions, but we're running short on time, so we'll answer those. If you've got further questions or you're viewing this video and you have questions, please feel to reach out to us on 206-729-1107, info@Pultorak. We're super happy to answer your questions, super happy to get you going. By the way, we had a question in the chat window as to, do we take on individual trainers, 1099 trainers, independent trainers with our courseware? Yes, we have. Part of our business model is we have courseware kits for participants, for instructors. You buy the instructor kit once for multiple deliveries of the student kits. We also take care of exam vouchers for you. We manage that all stuff for you. So we're super happy to take you on as a training partner, whether you're an independent trainer, whether you're an ATO or an LA. All those we're super happy to help you with. We also do training delivery and consulting as well, which I'm sure you know. We deliver these courses, and it's super exciting to see in over 60 countries. So it's fascinating to see the uptake of ITIL and all these other frameworks which we teach, these TOGAF and DevOps and Lean IT and Agile Scrum, and see where it's coming from, see what people are doing with it, and to be a part of that and to be a part of that with partners is just super exciting for us. So thanks. Listen, have a great day. Look forward to seeing you on some of these more seminars, additional seminars, and see what you can do with this stuff. Okay? Thanks.